Protect Day. Perfect weather today.
You'll be surprised at what 60 Minutes found at this 4-foot gap in a border fence near San Diego. Chinese migrants joining the masses trying to cross into America tonight.
We leave you this Sunday at South Dakota's Good Earth State Park with the state bird, ring-necked pheasants, foraging in a snowfall. I'm Jane Pauley. Please join us when our trumpet sounds again next Sunday morning.
I'm Margaret Brennan in Washington, and this week on Face the Nation, the U.S. intensifies its airstrike campaign in the Mideast, and a bipartisan group of senators finalize a border security deal. We'll speak exclusively with Kyrsten Sinema, one of the chief negotiators. The U.S. retaliates following last week's attack on a U.S. base in Jordan that killed 3 service members, the deadliest of 167 attacks on our forces since mid-October, and launches more strikes on Houthi targets in Yemen. We'll have the latest from the region, and we'll hear from White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. Plus, the heads of the House Intelligence Committee, Ohio Republican Mike Turner and Connecticut Democrat Jim Himes, will also be here. And we'll talk with the former head of Central Command, General Frank McKenzie. Until recently, he oversaw U.S. forces in the region. But first, in a rare television interview, Arizona's independent Senator Kyrsten Sinema makes her case for a bipartisan immigration and border security bill. She's got all the details of the Senate proposal. It's all just ahead on Face the Nation. Good morning and welcome to Face the Nation. We've got a lot to get to with the escalating tensions in the Mideast, but we begin with another challenge facing this country: how to secure the nation's borders and improve our broken immigration system. There is near universal recognition among Americans that the current immigration process is broken, and Congress has struggled for years to come up with a solution that will gain enough support to become law. The House has passed a bill that is a non-starter in the Senate, and we spoke with Speaker Mike Johnson about that earlier this year. But a bipartisan group of senators is expected to unveil their proposal later today. That bill would allow the president to shut down asylum processing during spikes in illegal crossings. It also gives the Department of Homeland Security the ability to expedite deportations. The proposal limits access to asylum and requires cases to be reviewed within 6 months. Right now, there is no time limit, and many cases languish for years before they're processed. Joining us now from Scottsdale is one of the chief negotiators of that deal, Arizona Independent Senator Kyrsten Sinema. And Senator, we want to note this is your first official appearance on a Sunday show, and we thank you for being with us today.
Well, good morning, Margaret. It's great to be with you.
So you are one of the very few people who know the intricate details of this deal, since the text is still not public. But to execute this plan, are you going to need more than the $14 billion that President Biden has asked Congress for?
Well, you know, that's really a question for the heads of our Appropriations Committee, who are in the final stages of putting this bill together this afternoon. My job was to lead the negotiations for the border policy changes that we so desperately need. And that's why I've worked with Senator Lankford and Senator Murphy over the last 4 months to create workable policy that makes dramatic but needed changes to both our asylum system and border policy.
You will need likely more personnel or funding to execute this, but in going to the specifics, you have said publicly you are ending catch and release. That's that practice of detaining migrants and then releasing them with the promise of a future court date. How will